friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul Live Lectures. Dear friends, this is a session on career counseling, and today we are talking about the need of special educators in schools, the need of the counseling psychologist who persistently works with the special educators. And we would like to tell you all, for this vivacious session we have with us in our studios Ms. Shabana, who is working extensively with the special educators. She is working with the children with special needs. She is a counseling psychologist, and she is a torchbearer, I would say, because she is making her efforts so that she could bring out change. So ma'am, as we have discussed a lot what qualities a special educator needs, or how one can energize oneself, or how one can identify first himself or herself, yes, this is the area where I can work. Now, because we have talked about this inclusive education, where a child with a special need sits in a classroom where there are lots of other students, and there the role of the teacher becomes very important. So how does special educator gives the contribution over there?
Okay, the inputs of a special educator are very important there, because the special educator has made an individual plan for the child, and she understands what exactly is needed. The child might not need, as I said earlier also, that each child needs different, with the same kind of disorder, with the same kind of IQ, with the same kind of things on the paper, but the child personally is a different child, so needs to be dealt differently. So the special educator jots down those things which will help him in the class, him or her in the class. Maybe if the writing speed is slow, so maybe making a buddy mentor in the class will help, who will, or if the child is not able to see, spacing the child appropriately, because the class has every class has a different pattern. Some classes rotate their seats, so the child has got to go through that too. So if the child has a vision problem, the child cannot see from back, so maybe the child needs to sit somewhere where he is able to see the board properly, and for that the child needs to be psychoeducated. Why you are being separate from others, he should happily accept that. For example, if a child is distracted very easily, ADHD has gone, he cannot be seated near a door or a window where he is able to see the ground, children playing. He will not be able to concentrate. So depending on the need of the child, a special educator trains the teacher for each child and gives her few pointers, basic pointers. For example, we have been working with our teachers since years, and we have been training them with some few very prevalent disorders: autism, LD, ADHD, so that all of them are empowered, because only one teacher won't be there. Science teacher would be coming, the drawing teacher would be coming. So we keep training all the teachers, the counselor and the special educator keeps training them. Now the class teacher, basically the class teacher, she is given those points how to make some modifications in the classroom and help the child. For example, his seat, for example, the way of instruction. Maybe the child is not able to maintain an eye contact, so teacher keeps walking in the class. So when she keeps walking, she can just go tap the child, tap on the child, beta, take his name and say, open the book, page 55. So that depending on the child, or she can make a buddy mentor who will help the child with these things. So depending on the need of the child, each teacher is trained. And yes, it does increase a little, a little of work or little of conscious effort is needed to the teachers. So, but when this is in the circle, no, in the loop, all the teachers, they understand them. Initially, it was a problem. कैसे करेंगे? इतना काम है, एक बच्चा कैसे, है ना? But when they saw that it is going on and the child is improving, that's a big reward.
Great sigh of relief.
Motivates them.
Yes, a kind of satisfaction.
Exactly.
Yes, we have contributed something. So if this teacher who is handling the entire class, though she is being guided by the special educator, if she has some additional qualifications,
it always helps. Yeah, because of the industry norms, it is not required, so we don't force them. But yeah, we do suggest. We have been suggesting to parents as well. A child who is not able to, no, I'm not having a special educator near me, and the child needs a session daily, and the school educator, the session in the school is not enough. We might need more. in those cases, there are many parents, the mothers who have done the special education course, and they're doing their children, helping their children along with other children. Similarly, when short-term courses are there, few short 2 months, 3 months courses, we do suggest to our teachers. So many of them, yes, they go for it.
At least it creates better understanding.
Exactly.
As
They lessen their work. Their handling becomes easy, and when it eases their work, they feel empowered.
And when something is running inside me, it is easier for me to understand somebody else's need.
The best one thing which is needed for CWSN is being non-judgmental and being empathetic. These two things bring wonderful changes in those children.
Treat the child as if the child is your child,
Exactly.
and things will be easier for you. No need to be extra emotional and no need to be extra cautious. गलती ना हो जाए, कहीं ऐसा ना हो
देखिए,
जाए.
जब हम काम करेंगे तो गलतियां तो होंगी. जितना ज़्यादा करेंगे गलतियां उतनी ज़्यादा होंगी. ज़्यादा गलतियों का मतलब होता है कि आप ज़्यादा काम कर रहे हैं. एक गलती एक बार होती है, ठीक है. जब आप 2 बार 4 बार कर रहे हैं, और दूसरा यहाँ इन आवर सोसाइटी वी फाइंड कि थोड़ा हेल्प लेने में भी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, तो उससे ऊपर आना पड़ेगा. बी रेडी फॉर लर्निंग. इफ यू आर अ टीचर, लीव अबाउट स्पेशल एजुकेटर. इफ यू आर अ टीचर, keep learning from each child, keep learning from each teacher, keep learning from every parent. You have to be open with that. हर बच्चा कुछ नया सिखा जाता है.
So how does a teacher report back to the special educator the child has improved? Does the special educator assess the child later on?
These things are done on daily basis. For example, in inclusion, depending on the child's needs, sessions are planned. Most of the places, my place also works like that. Some mild need children might be needing session, thrice a week or twice a week. So they are called that way. Some children need sessions per day. So they are called like that. Maybe in their periods, maybe if the child is in a wheelchair or not going to play. So yes, again, we are against that, but we are not able to, accommodate a free period for the class where the child can come to us. So yes, the child misses over a few periods. Maybe if the child is not good with reading, he is not going to library. So it is somewhere accommodating like this. Even like if you talk to a counselor, I am not happy with that too. Let the child go to library, sees a lot of books, but then we need to take out time.
It's not about mugging all the time. It's all about the overall development of the kid.
Because we need to work. There the child will learn, but the learning would be this much. But if in the session the learning would be this much. So we compromise over this for this. So actually we compromise. We pick the child from that class and we do the sessions. So the teacher and special educators communicates almost on daily basis. Anything new happens here, any new change to be brought, the special educator should communicate to the teacher. The teacher, if she notices anything, she communicates back to. And that's why, like at my place, it is a protocol when we talk to the parent. All the stakeholders are in one place, class teacher also, special educator also, counselor also, and
because the responsibility is not only of one person.
No.
Everyone is involved.
Everybody. Yes.
Very true. Now, ma'am, another important question is when we are talking about the special educators in the mainstream schools, the main schools, who hires those special educators? Does the parents have this privilege that they can ask the school to keep such any one of the special educator? Or
now the directions are from DOE. When DOE says we should have 3%, all the private schools, they are supposed to have 3% CWSN mandatorily, because when we have 50 children in a class, it is not possible that not even one single CWSN is there, because the ratio is increasing. It is 5-6 now almost. So 3%, I mean they're still on 3%. 3% is mandatory. So when they say CWSN is mandatory, so special educators needs is mandatory. So for every school, it is mandatory to have a special educator. So parents need not say, we'll have to hire as an, if you're the authority, we're the management, we have to.
Apart from the school, if they want to hire someone, they can.
They can. And that is again suggested by us, psychoeducated by us.
Whether the child requires or not.
Yes.
Now, if we talk about...
When the child is at home, that also is, on a weekly basis or a monthly basis is reviewed by us, because the child is coming half day here and half day there, and same things should not, we work hand in hand. If two special educators are there, both of them work hand in hand.
Now, if we go back to the schools with which provides the special education to the students, those who have their needs. For example, somebody has hearing impairment, somebody has... So we have altogether different schools for all the
Okay, this is a challenge in the industry right now, because we have, as I said, we need more and more number of people. We have very few special educators as compared to the number of CWs needed in society, in India, in the schools, right? So the number of special educators need to increase. And see, disabilities are different type. A child might have a VI, visual impairment, a child might have a hearing impairment. Now special education courses are for separate one or two disorders they see, so that whenever we go for a B.Ed or something, we need to precise initially only give which disorder I want to take. Some universities might give for many of the things, some universities might offer only two things. So when we choose which university and which disorder, we need to have good knowledge of that, ki what am I going to study. So a child having academic issues either by ID or by autism or by LD can be handled by a teacher who, a special educator who is trained with one of the disorders. But a VI child, but a HI child, she cannot handle them. So if we have such child, we need to have a separate special educator for that disorder. It is always suggestible to have special educators specialized in that disability.
Now, the another important question, because we are talking about the specific, the child who needs a specific kind of a special educator. If I want to be a special educator, so do I need to study all the areas, or it is up to me to pick any of them?
No, most of the special education courses, they are training people in one or two at the most. It is your choice. You can go beyond of that particular 1 year, 2 year course and learn more things. There are people who are doing multiple masters. Similarly, you can. How much you want to empower yourself? There are 3 month, 4 month, 6 months courses. You can do those courses. There are specifically few courses where only for learning disability, diploma courses are there, certificate, ample courses are there. So when you go on RCI's website, there only lot of courses are listed. You can do one of them. Okay, you can do, in initial years, you can just go and do pick one disorder, one certificate course that will empower you with dealing all kind of children. Many a times you have children with multiple disabilities. It does not always be one LD child will have only. There can be few disorders, the comorbid. They exist together in the same child. In that case, the person who has, who's having knowledge of different areas will definitely be of help. So it again depends on the person, how the person is taking.
How a person is keen.
Exactly.
आप क्या contribution देना चाहते हैं?
Actually, it is other way around also. Like wherever you are, the universities around you where you can afford to go, what is that university giving? So that is also one thing to be taken care of. If I don't want to work with VI and my university is giving VI only, then I need to switch over to some other university.
Now, all the special educators who are being hired by the school, apart from their B.Ed in special education, any other degree required by them?
Not required. Yes, CBSE CTET is needed. All the prevalent schools, all the good schools, they need CBSE CTET. That is common for all B.Eds. For all the B.Eds, you will be recruited only after CTET. So that goes with special educators as well.
So this is one of the another important point, that if you want to be a special educator,
and CBSE
is
giving CTET after DLED also. If the person has done diploma in education after 12th, CBSE CTET is allowing them also to be. So if the child is in primary, so many schools even are offering them.
So this could be a great help to the all those who want to have a career in this particular area. Now, because we have discussed a lot about how the special educators can their contribution as they can be hired in various schools. Apart from being hired in a school, in a special school or in a mainstream school, how one can give the contribution, how one can basically make his or her career, because people after all,
once having the RCI license, you can open up your own setup. Like we refer earlier, when we never had special education, we used to refer them. So it is highly paying session. Special educators nowadays pay 500, 600 for one. I mean, they get one for one session. So you can open up your own center and work. It is really doing well. You can hire one occupational therapist. You can connect with some psychologist, and you can.
How big you are thinking depends on you.
How?
Big one is thinking about.
Exactly.
It depends on the person.
Yes.
It depends on
the
the
only
person.
thing which I suggest is that whenever you do such courses, anything related to psychology, when you're dealing with human beings, either it is medical or it is rehabilitation, this comes under rehabilitation. So just do not jump into working. Do a lot of internship, do a lot of, for making yourself empowered. Once you are RCI recognized B.Ed and with a CTET, you can work. But for giving your fullest, I advise definitely go for at least 3 to 6 months of internship with a person rigorously doing anything.
The more you will learn, the more
whichever you can afford. Because directly taking up one session without any help, nobody to for example, in my school we have senior people. So there, if we are keeping a fresher person who's learning, who's come with a good education background with good percentage in B.Ed, and we are there to see. There, okay, if you're joining such organization, if you are the only one, or if you're opening plans of opening your own center, then you should go in for training with some experienced person initially, at least for 6 months, and then start with it.
With the help of the RCI license, one can open the institution or one's own school. Any other certification or degree is required for opening the own center or the school?
RCI recognition is enough.
Enough. One can go along
See,
with
if you want to open a school, again, school is
Is
something big and you need to get it registered somewhere. For that, scenario is different. But if you want to open your own center, if you want to work freelancer, you can work from day one.
We have seen number of people doing number of things, such as, for example, we have sign language interpreters, those who basically help the students. So if somebody is if someone is a special educator and has done such kind of courses, such courses would also helping.
Of course, you can cater to those children also, right? Because if you are a special educator in ID, suppose intellectual deficiency, and you don't know sign language, you can never help a VI child. So if you want to, bigger your arena, widen your arena, you need to learn all those small things which are around. And then again, you have to go, you should go for if you've not done graduation in psychology, you should go for a certificate course at least in child psychology.
That would be a added
child development. Child psychology comes by a lot of names, where basically it is trained how a child develops, where it talks about the basic milestones, what a child should do at what age exactly.
So apart from the schools, does at higher level also, at higher education also, special educators are required? और वहाँ तक बच्चा empower हो जाता है?
हाँ, usually empower हो जाता है, क्योंकि special education is basically about studies, making them learn, study. Apart from that, life skills, है ना, उसमें फिर then occupational therapist आ रहे हैं, है ना, counselors आ रहे हैं, तो उनका रोल बाद में ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. तो 12th तक agar the child is able to get empowered, then he does not need it.
In today's education system, or
again, 12th means I'm not talking about the chronological age. The child might be 26. No, not the child. The person might be 26, but maybe he's not of level. But if a child is able to, come up till 12th in an inclusive setup in a main school, then that child most probably does not need.
Very true, very true. So these are the inputs which you all need to hear deliberately, because these will be helping you if you are planning to be into the area of special education. Ma'am, apart from the bachelor's degree, does one can learn more, grow more, or we have another more degrees in the special education?
Special education only certificate courses are there, B.Ed is there, diploma is there. Right now, there are, I've heard, I'm not very sure, I still need to check, that some university has started bachelors in special education. They're giving special education in final year. I just heard it yesterday, so we need to think about that too and search about more that. But special education basically needs in-hand training. I don't know how colleges are giving. I'm not sure. It has to be a college where, special children, I mean, all these courses, B.Ed in special education, D.Ed in special education, all these courses you'll find them in those universities only, on those institutions only where special needs children are there. For example, Amar Jyoti is there. So IGNOU places most of its students in Amar Jyoti. With IGNOU, one more thing I would like to bring into notice here is special education, counseling, these things when you do, it is always recommended to do it regular. Open schooling if you're doing, then you need to go for at least 1 year extensive internship, then only you are capable of working with children. So if you're not, if your organization is giving you a degree without,
it's not about giving examination, studying and giving examination. It's all practical.
The person will not be able to work. The person will not be able to understand, and that will frustrate that person only, because results will not come out. You'll be given a child, no results would be there. That will frustrate you only. So it's very important. So to do it preferably in a regular mode rather than in distance mode.
And that would be beneficial for one only, because jitna hands-on experience hoga, one will learn while doing the work, but when you are dealing someone, you need to be prepared beforehand. Now, as in, if you talk about our usual education system here today in the modern era, we always need, teaching aids. So, does a special educator also require to learn those teaching aids while dealing with the students with special needs?
By the time they do their course, they're empowered enough to make their own teaching aids. Teaching aids are now, TLMs are used by normal teachers to, giving all, learning through all the senses. That's the basic protocol right now going on in the schools. The child should learn through all. He should hear, he should see, he should walk, he should touch. So similar goes in. I mean, all these things are basically coming from special education. Because when those things were initially bound there only, now they are coming into mainstream. For example, not only those, the puzzles which we bring for our children at home, all those things which only special educators were using, we are bringing them to normal toy shop now, so that the child is able to learn in a multi-sensory way. So yes, those are the teaching learning materials available. A lot of material is available already, but I have seen teachers special educators making their own TLMs also individually for that child. So yes, TLMs, and basically it is how that child can be helped. So if a teaching learning material is helping, of course, yes.
Now, a special educator is the last person, if I'm not wrong. Before that, parents need to, because it's very important, because it's a right session to talk about it. What is the right time, or I may be wrong, because there is no right time or the wrong time to identify that your child is a child with a special need. That identification is very, very important.
Very important.
Very important, because this is an appropriate session to talk about.
The less the time lost is more the results and more empowered the child is. The intervention, as soon as the intervention starts in life, is always better for the child. Usually, because the parents don't have many children. Now, in a setup of 1 or 2 children, with setup of, nuclear families, we are not in regular touch with many children. So, we many times just, it does not rule out the need of a special need. कि बच्चे होते हैं ऐसे, करते हैं ऐसे, बड़ा हो जाएगा, कोई बात नहीं, इसके पापा तो 6 साल में चले थे, है ना? इस तरह से जो चीज़ें होती हैं वो कई लोग करते चले जाते हैं. बट यही है, बच्चा अगर स्कूल आ गया है, किसी अच्छे स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है, अगर टीचर ने कोई चीज़ बोली है, ठीक है, तो पेरेंट्स शुड स्टार्ट वर्किंग ओवर इट as early as possible. देखिए, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं which we psychologists also do not rate or diagnose or label very soon. कि बच्चा 3 साल का है, हमने उसको IQ कह दिया कि इसका तो IQ ही नहीं. We don't know. Child is growing and the child has its own pace. Yes, उस टाइम पे हम एक VSMS स्केल करते हैं जिसमें हम उसको सोशल मैच्योरिटी बताते हैं. We do not say that कि इसका IQ है इतना. हम इसको सोशल मैच्योरिटी बताते हैं कि ये बच्चा 3 साल 3 महीने का है, बट सोशली ये 2 साल 6 महीने का है. इस तरह से वी गिव एक मेंटल एज हम बता देते हैं. once a child grows up, then we start doing IQ assessment. But अगर मुझे लग रहा है एज अ थेरेपिस्ट, अगर मेरे पास नर्सरी में एक बच्चा है और वो देखिए 2 तरह से प्रॉब्लम्स होती है. एक तो बच्चा एक्सपोज ही नहीं हुआ, आपने उसको गोद से उतारा ही नहीं तो वो चल नहीं पाएगा. सो वी नीड टू रूल आउट दैट कि वॉज दिस. अब एक बच्चा है उसी नर्सरी में जो किसी प्ले स्कूल से आया है, और एक बच्चा है who never went to, बिकॉज हमारे पास अभी EWS कैटेगरी भी होती है. 25% EW, 25 में से 12-13 बच्चा हर क्लास में, 50 में से 12-13 बच्चा होता है जो EWS से आता है. तो मोस्ट ऑफ देम EWS चिल्ड्रन आर नॉट कमिंग फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ द स्कूल्स. सो द चाइल्ड माइट नॉट नो वेरी फ्लुएंट language, maybe only one language he has seen at his home and that is different. So he might be not knowing the other languages, might not be knowing anything about English. The child might not have seen any book, might not know how to make a line. So we need to give around 6 months, expose that child to everything, and then be judgmental, then talk about it. Teachers do come to us, we give them, these are the pointers, note the child over this, do this with the child. If the child is not able to learn, then we meet parents. In the basic years, we very often meet parents and we ask things. As I said, Winland's scale is there. We do certain things, and when the parent says, no, I have been teaching but he does not know how to, then it is a problem. So we catch hold of the child, we start with special education as soon as possible, even if the diagnosis is not done. We have a special educator and we start with it. So otherwise, the first place is the child is sent for a diagnosis. He goes to a consultant psychologist. A lot of assessment tools are there, standardized tools are there. They assess the child and then they send us a report, and based on that report, we start the assessment.
Wonderful. So it's a wonderful way of bringing a change, and each one of us should play this important role.
Exactly.
And yes, if you want to be a special educator, the road is all yours.
Exactly.
So last but not the least, what do you want to say to all those students, all those the kids or the youth who want to be into this particular field?
See, when we talk about the youth, there are many people, when we are growing, we feel हमें कुछ change लाना है, हमें society बदलनी है. And everybody, we have been hearing कि do your own bit, do your own bit. So there are few careers which is a career which pays you. आपके लिए एक अच्छा सा career build up कर देता है, आपके लिए एक job तैयार कर देता है, आपके लिए एक money making system तैयार कर देता है. उसके साथ you are bringing change into somebody's life. तो बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है ये, बहुत अच्छा फील्ड है. पहले अगर हम पिछली जनरेशन की बात करें तो सिर्फ डॉक्टर्स वाला फील्ड ऐसा लगता था कि हम सोशल सर्विस भी कर रहे हैं. तो इट इज़ समवॉट, थेरेपी इज़ समवॉट मेडिकल ओनली. बस यहाँ पे हम मेडिसिन नहीं देते, सर्जरीज नहीं करते. तो रिहैबिलिटेशन इज़ नॉट लेस देन मेडिकेशन एट ऑल. रिहैबिलिटेशन इज़ बेसिकली हाउ अ पर्सन सेटल्स बैक इन द सोसाइटी. सो हम उसमें ज़्यादा हेल्प कर रहे हैं. तो बहुत अच्छा करियर है, एथिकली भी, सोशली भी, फाइनेंशियली भी नीड इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा है. So, go for it.
Go for it. Yes, the sky is all yours. And as I already said, try to shower the rain of hope.
Just as and attitude is needed. If I can work with children, कि yes, I'm comfortable with children. I can handle them. Not only my children, other children also I can handle them. I love being with them, and I would love to spend some time with them. You'll understand your personality is made for them or not.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving us this session, and we are privileged to hear from you such thought-provoking words which would definitely change the life of those students who want to be the counseling psychologists or the special educators, and those parents also, those who have lost the hope. Nothing is impossible. Yes. Everything is possible. You just have to go and reach to the destination.
To welcome more and more people in my field.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving us this vicious session. And dear friends, we would like to tell you all, so access the lecture the number of times you wanted, and we believe that this session will bring a change in your life too. So we would be meeting again next Thursday. Till then, take care. Goodbye.